Well, that was an experience. I'm glad I'm getting up out of there. You'd think the world was coming to an end. So in my previous video on this Bentley, you saw where I cleaned the fuel tank. I had eliminated all that sugar from the fuel system, and man, this thing had been running great. I've been driving this thing around like crazy. I even managed to take this thing to a cruise in where I kind of felt like it was still in the show from the Lamborghini that was parked beside me. Anyway, we still had that issue. We had that issue with the suspension fault coming up on the dash, and today I believe I got a solution for that problem. So I was telling you about the scan tool that you needed to read these codes in these cars that had these complicated electrical systems, such as this Bentley here. This is a plug. Actually, it's a whole cable. It's a OBD2 cable, USB on the other end. And what this will allow me to do is to hook up to my laptop here, and it'll let me access dealership level software for this car. Now this thing scans, I believe, Audi, Volkswagen, and Bentley. So this is what you need so you can gain access, like I said, to the dealership level software. So we're going to try to get this thing connected up and see how it works. Alright, so we got this thing connected up. And as you can see, we have the key on. And we have it connected over here, USB. And we're letting the computer run the scan on it right now. It seems to have found a few fault codes. Now this thing will actually read every computer system in this car. And I mean, this thing has a ton of computers on it. And when I say computers, you know, the radio's got a computer in it. You got an airbag module, you got an ABS module, you got, you know, door modules, seat modules, engine modules, transmission modules. You got a module for everything in this car. And what this does is this scans everything and will read any of the fault codes. This is not new technology. I mean, it's been out for 20-25 years, but with something this complicated, I mean, there's no way to really diagnose everything in the car, but this will tell us every little issue that we are having in this entire car. Now I bought the cable. The cable was around $80, which is not bad. And you just basically have to go online and download the software. So if I was to take this thing somewhere and get it scanned, I mean, you're looking at $120 easily, you know, for labor just to do that. So $80 for a cable is not a bad deal. And we can find out exactly what's going on and see if there's anything that we might need to correct. So it took a couple minutes for the scan to complete. But here you can see there's a pretty good long list. I'll just kind of scroll real quick. Now some of them show non-faults, some of them show fault codes. And now this would be all the fault codes and everything that's stored in all the modules since it's been reset last. Disconnecting the battery, I don't believe is going to erase this out of the memory. So a lot of this stuff is probably previously from when we owned the car. So as you can see right here, this is the engine module, or one of the engine modules, because we have two engine modules on here. There's the automatic transmission, ABS, it looks like accessory start authorization. And you got seat memory, control head, HVAC. I mean, the list just goes on. It's like engine, there's engine 2. Yeah, we got some codes. See, like misfire codes. Some of those are from when we initially got the thing running. But yeah, steering wheel. I mean, it's just all kinds of crazy stuff on here. You just don't really even think about that has a module, but it actually does. And this is real handy. This thing right here, all these codes tell us every little detail of what's going on in the entire car. So this is a pretty helpful tool, especially if you're trying to diagnose, you know, a major electrical problem, which I don't believe we have any. I'm going to dig into it and read these codes and see if we can't figure out what that running gear fault code right there is. So after doing a diagnostic scan on the laptop for that level fault that we had. I come to find out that maybe we might have a problem back here with the suspension control module. Now, I had to go online and download some wiring diagrams directly from the Bentley service manual. That cost me a little bit of money, but well worth it. But I tracked down my problem to back here. So the main thing you want to check is the power source. And this thing has 3 power sources, 2 constants and 1 switched. And I seem to be getting good power back here at the connector, which is right here, pretty easy to get to. And I checked the grounds were good. But when I pulled this connector off, this big connector off right here, which is one of the 2, this is what I saw on the inside. Now take a look down in that connector. There seems to be some kind of like water intrusion there. Actually on both sides. That side's actually dry, but over here you can see it's wet. Now I don't know where that's came from. There's really nothing, as you can see over here, to leak water down onto it. It must be just moisture that's been in there for a while. And if you look at the connector, it's kind of wet and a little corroded too, but the seal and everything looks good. Doesn't look bad at all. I don't really know how water would have gotten down in there. I mean, normally this would have been covered up with a panel, but like I said, there's nothing above it that has anywhere for any water to leak down onto it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try to clean up that connector, and I'm going to try to clean up the connector here on the module. And there's actually 4 screws here. I'm going to take them off, and I'm going to look on the inside, and hopefully none of that moisture got on the inside. But I think maybe our problem just might be we need to clean up these connectors, and we'll do that and see if that helps. Hopefully it's not this module, because I've been looking them up and they're anywhere from $300 for a used one all the way up to $500 for a brand new one. And then you got to program it, which we have the software to program it now. So we're going to start with this, try to clean it up, and see if we can't get this thing back working. All right. Whoa. Yeah, we got some corrosion in there. Look at that. Got a little bit of corrosion. Oh yeah. Got a little bit of corrosion. Some of that might clean up. I don't know. We're gonna try to clean it up and hope for the best. Make sure ain't nothing too corroded there. Maybe we didn't kill this thing. Like I said, it had been working, so I don't know what's going on here. It's actually dry though. I mean, it's not wet. I don't see any moisture and it don't feel wet. This must be something that happened a while back for some reason. So we're going to try to clean that up and hope for the best. So here we got our suspension control module back in the car. We cleaned all the corrosion off the board, cleaned all the corrosion off the connectors. So where this big connector goes, there were 2 prongs sticking up that were actually completely corroded so bad that they broke off. So what I had to do is I had to go in there and add 2 pins in. But it is what I had to do. You know, this, like I said, this module is $250 plus. So we're going to go in here and try it out and see if we got any error codes. So as you saw before, when we got in here and we turned the key on, after a few seconds, that level fault would come up on the dash. Let's see if all that's went away, and hopefully we ain't got to replace this control module. Well, all looks well here. Let's see if we can get the suspension control functions to come up on the dash. There it is. where you can set your level. You can go high or low. And then, yeah, so we can adjust the suspension, the shocks. So it looks like everything's working as it should. And that's a good sign, because we won't have to spend that kind of money for that module. So yeah, looks like everything's working as it should. So I'm glad I got that fixed. If you've enjoyed this project, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Click the bell so you'll get the notifications. Like, share, and comment below. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram.